Krishan, what are you doing?
Oh, supporting hot chocolate tea.
Period. Girl, they already hating. They already hating. Yeah, they gonna hate. It's okay.
She got the tea, don't you see? Spilling truth with every sip so free. Got the documents, got the receipts. Every story she completes. Grab your tea, it's a hot topic spree. Sipping truth with a side of glee. Box of chocolates, sweet and neat. Hot tea's here, take your seat.
Hot chocolate tea. You better put your best profile picture up, nigga. They should know who the fuck got the tea.
Period.
Let me go on hot chocolate page. She knows. Let me go and check on what they say. Because I know you gonna post it. You like actually engaged and help the engagement. Did you think this would go this far?
Hey YouTube, this video is for educational purposes only. Everything that you hear, see, and we say in this video is alleged. We are putting two and two together. Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Hot Tea Hot Chocolate, back with another video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Choose notifications and turn them on all. Period. So guys, last night we got another exclusive. I don't know if you guys have been missing it, but we definitely are turning up on these late night lives. We are getting Krishan to pop up. We're getting Karlissa's siblings to pop up. It is lit over here. You feel me? So last night we did a live panel where we basically discussed Karlissa, and Karlissa's sister decided to come up, Octavia. Thank you so much, Octavia, for being so supportive of me continuously from day one. And I love you. And I just want to give you your shout out and your flowers for being such a genuine person. So real, so humble, so kind, and very respected over here. But Octavia dropped some gems on us, and she opened up, you know, some questions as to whether we know the real Jaden or not, and a lot of us pretty much don't. And she went into detail about a lot of things that we didn't know. So I am going to go ahead and drop that clip so you guys let us know what you think at the end of this video.
I'm telling you, that's exactly what he think. I'm not gonna.
That's how
How
his
did that
face
make you
look.
feel when you seen it, Octavia? How did you feel when you seen that?
I really don't feel any type of way because Jaden allows it. Like, Karlissa would ask to pick my son up from school, and I had to tell her one time, "You need to leave my child with them white people. Do not ever pick my child up." This is me
Oh
telling
my
my
God, I
sister
know
that.
that's right.
Don't touch my child. Don't pick him up. You can't do. And so for Jaden to just, you have to love your kids more than anything. You have to protect your kids more than anything. I can't care for my nieces and nephews more than their mother cares for them.
That's true.
I don't
I
wish.
agree.
I put Jaden and Krishan and Katie all in the same box. They're all the mother of my nieces and nephews. I don't want nothing bad to happen to them, because if it happens to them, then it happens to their children, then it's happening to me. But Jaden has to grow up and say, there's some things that I can't allow to happen to my children. And if she's allowing it, I can't step in and do anything about it.
That's
Yeah,
real.
you're right.
Yeah.
Because you
So
have
do
other
you guys
options. That's my
remember?
whole thing for her.
Do
I feel like she has her sisters to her sister to watch the kids. She got her friend, you know, Quincy. She usually watches the kid. Then me personally, right? I'm a regular normal person. If I am going out of town or something like that, I know who's the best person to watch my kids, and I know how to get them to me. I will send a train, a flight, a bus, whatever I got to do. I will go drive from Vegas to Cali to go pick up the right babysitter for my kids, or whatever I got to do to arrange the right person here. Jaden, you have a little extra money I'm sure, to send for your mom to come out here and watch her kids if you need a babysitter. You could even get a nanny for those times on and off, because you barely get in bookings, not to be funny, but it's the real. You barely get in bookings. So it's not like you need a babysitter every day. Like every other 2 or 3 weeks, you're getting a booking. So you can literally just get a babysitter for that. But she's so used to using Karlissa for that. And Karlissa's so used to allowing her to use her for that's how they build the relationship. Because remember, when John and Jaden was doing these interviews talking shit about Karlissa, she was talking about their kids too. She was talking about Javon and Journey. He was saying F them. He was talking about Jaden like a dog, calling her all types of names, calling her drunk, unfit, evil. She don't want John around his baby, this, that, and the other. A lot of things she was saying. So to me, they're all opportunists. And Karlissa's like, okay, I know how I can get, Krishan Jesus. I'm gonna get the other kids. And she's using them for multiple purposes. Okay, I'll use them to distract from one kid being famous. Let's make all the grandkids famous. And then also I can use them on my show, and then I get the attention. So everything is like a I scratch your back, you scratch mine type of thing for Karlissa and Jaden. And I think that they're both in on it, because she went on her 6 Hot show and shaded Krishan, and Karlissa asked her, if I was to ever, have Krishan Jesus and your kids were here too, would I be able to would you be mad at me or whatever, basically? And Jaden was like, hell yeah, like you might never see my kids again, So for that right there, that let me know everything I needed to know. Karlissa's not on her grandkid side. You're on the side of whatever works best for you. So you agree with her in that moment, because she's the only person allowing you to extort her kids. So it ain't about, oh yeah, Jaden, I agree with you. It's about, okay, I'll just say whatever fits the narrative for you, so that you will let me continue to use your kids. Now, as soon as you get off the live yesterday, you making a post talking about, oh, you guys got me. None of the baddies, baby mamas is answering me. All that is an episode for her show. I'm telling you right now. Sunday, she'll be saying, okay, guys, I'm going to be popping up on Jaden and Callie to see if they'll let me see the kids, because they've been ignoring me all week. That's exactly what she's going to say. It's so obvious, right? That's the same thing Dre told us. So I don't know. Like, I just can't with her. She's getting on my nerves.
You know what?
With Jaden is gonna.
Let Octavia speak, please.
You guys pick on Jaden, and you guys don't realize that Jaden literally has nobody. She has absolutely nobody.
I don't think we picking on her though. I think she throws rocks and hides her hand.
No, she does, but you guys are not seeing Jaden for who she is. She's a person that has literally nobody. All she had was John. That's all she had. That's all she's known. And people make fun of her and say things about her. But when Jaden was pregnant, nobody showed up for her baby shower. It was me, my mom, my son, John, and John's dad, and her mom. When she went into labor, Karlissa was not there. I worked, so my mom took the morning shift. I took the evening shift. And we did that for 2 days. I got off work. I would drop my son off to my mom, and I would sit in the hospital with John and Jaden while she was in labor. She just so happened to go into labor at 2 a.m. She delivered him at 2 a.m., so I was there. When she had him, her mom was like, I'm not watching that baby. And I was like, Jaden, you do not have to sit in the house. And she wanted to finally go out as a new mom. And she asked her mom, and she was like, no, I told you, I was never going to watch that baby. And John told him, I got an auntie that'll watch my baby anytime. And I was like, you already know, bring him over here, it's not a problem. And she came back like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning and apologized. I was like, did I call you? Did I tell you to come pick your baby up? So what are you apologizing for? And that's how I started watching JJ. I had JJ. Her sister wouldn't watch him. Her mom wouldn't watch him. Her grandmother wouldn't watch him. So while people her age are going out and exploring, Jaden was pretty much stuck in the house, just her and her baby. And then John blew up, and that created even more of a divide. Her mother
She
has
chose to have
left
a
the
second
state.
baby.
So, what mother leaves a state knowing that their child needs help?
Sound like Jaden didn't change her career.
Yeah, but that's what I was about to say, right? So she's choosing these things for her. That's why
Yeah.
I don't have sympathy for her. I
Me
understand that
neither.
it's hard to walk away to a certain extent, especially when money and fame is involved. But I am also too a young mother. I don't have a mother. My mother is deceased. I don't have a father. I've never even met him. And a nigga played with me when I was pregnant with my first child. I didn't have anything. I was 3 months pregnant and I left him immediately. I didn't even get to see him. He didn't get to see me no more while I was pregnant. I didn't give a fuck about being pregnant for him or nothing, because you're not about to belittle me or treat me any kind of way or leave me feeling like a single mom and you're really here. So at the end of the day, I don't think that it's that nobody sympathizes with her. I think that, or empathizes with her. I think that it's how she acts, right? If you show
I think
that side of
too.
you and stop trying to be somebody that you're
She
not,
shows no
then
But she
humility
she
people
doesn't have a
will be
whatsoever.
brain of
able
her
to.
own. And I'm
She
not being
doesn't show
shady
any
towards
humility.
her. I'm not being shady, but she doesn't have a brain of her own. She's been told by either Karlissa or John how to act, how to
I
talk,
can
how to walk. She
I agree
doesn't
with that.
have it
She's
upstairs.
groomed. She's groomed.
Right.
So
She has
that's
to
why
take
I always feel
responsibility
bad for
for
her.
herself, her own action. And it's okay to feel bad for her because I'm sure Hot Chocolate is not the only person that can tell a story. I had my first kid when I was young. I left my mother's house and I was out there on my own and I had to do the best things I needed to do. My baby father was locked up and I went out there. People came to me, met me because of my spirit, because of who I am, and they took me on as their own family and helped me and my kid. I went to college, I went to school, I did the things that I needed to do. And then I met my son's father. He had a horrible mother like Karlissa, but at the end of the day, I get it, Octavia. I hear what you're saying, but she's an adult. She
But
has
we
to
are
now
women too, right? So
learn.
I'm gonna pull back a little bit, right? Because based on what you know as a woman, right? When you think of it from just, if you eliminate everything else involved, the way that she's thrown a rock and hide her hand, if you eliminate those things, which is what I'm doing just in this moment, you can definitely empathize with her as a woman, because as a woman, you know how hard it is to walk away from a man, much less a man on a big platform. He has so many things to offer. There's so many things, and plus you're so comfortable and you're afraid at the same time. So it's understandable, right? But that's why I get at her the way that I do, because I'm not just saying anything to be saying anything. I'm speaking from experience, baby. I'm a little bit older than you. I'm not that much older than you. I'm talking about Jaden, for
Mhm.
example. But it's like I'm 35 years old and I have 6 children and I did it on my own. And I never looked for a pity party. I never sat around and said, oh my God, my kids don't have no aunties and uncles. I got 2 sisters that my kids never met, and they came out of my mom's cookie. And they've never met my kids. My kids never met them. One time, one of my sisters visited Las Vegas and she was here for like a week, and she came over to my house and met my kids that one time and never seen them again. So I ain't crying about it. I know that some people will. And I too know sometimes I start thinking like, maybe I should get some type of therapy or talk to somebody about this, because the older that I get, I start to wonder, why am I so detached from wanting or caring about that, right? So I definitely can empathize to some certain level, right? But at this point, John has done so much to her. There's really no excuse. Like, it's the same shit with people trying to say, hold Katie accountable, right? It's the same thing with Jaden. Like, you gotta hold yourself accountable too at some point. You can't just say, oh, I'm helpless, I know that her mom's a drunk. I do know that, allegedly. We've seen it with our own 2 eyes, her drinking and driving and leaving the party, drinking and driving, this, that, and that. With the kids, they're doing all kind of inappropriate things or whatever. Nobody really calls it out. If I call it out, everybody's calling me out. But that's the reason why I do those things, because I people might think that I'm ghetto because I can be ghetto, but I also don't raise my kids that way. I'm very much ghetto. I was born and raised in the projects, but I definitely know how to turn it on and off when it needs to be. So if I see you, doing something inappropriate where I can actually see it, not nothing we're guessing, you need to get it together. So Stewie, if you're listening, nobody's picking on you. You need to start taking accountability and stop picking, because you can't sit up here and talk about somebody's baby and then expect somebody to be like, oh my God, we should feel sorry for you. I don't feel sorry for her, but
Right.
I think we would if she humanizes herself, because right now she's allowing herself to be controlled. For example, the whole diss song about Krishan and all of that. I would have never agreed to that. So if we know that we would never agree to something like that, this bitch gotta be out of her mind, because she can't have a brain of her own for her to say, oh, no problem, I'll go in there and saying I'm snipped like a Barbie, hips, lips, and like to say that, you gotta be crazy. I would have literally had, even if I known that this dude would have put me on the floor, I would have been on the floor, because I would have said no. I would have been like, no, nigga, you sing it. Like, what do you mean? Like, this is not no Ike and Tina. Like, no.
Exactly.
So
that's the difference between a strong person. So let's take it back to the girl Jiggy. Jaden was just in Jaden's lane, but Jiggy was showing that she's an entrepreneur. She had a business. What did Jaden do? Jaden popped up with a business. He gets with Krishan. Krishan's rapping. Jaden raps. She's begging him to love her. I'll do anything for you to love me. If you like a girl with a business, well, okay, I can do a business. You like a girl that raps, well, I can rap too. She has no individuality, and I'm not excusing her talking about someone's child. I think that's their beef, and I think Jaden started it, and Jaden has to, I feel like she has to accept whatever Krishan dishes out because she started it. If Krishan wake up and feel like, you know what, I'm looking in the mirror and I'm pissed off because my tooth is gone and I want to go upside your head, or I want to cuss you out, I feel like Jaden has to take it. I'm that type of person. I'm going to jump on you every time I see you until I feel better
me
about
too.
myself. That's what Jaden has to accept because she started it. But at the same time, I feel for Jaden. I met Jaden at Grant High School. It was John's football game. And I told Karlissa that day, get rid of her. And Karlissa calls and says, Jaden says that she thinks that you don't like her. And I said, I don't. I was like, I don't like that girl. What happened to the other girl he was dating? And because I got the vibe from Jaden that she was plotting. And I'm not shading Jaden, but
She
that's
didn't
the
want to
vibe
work.
that I got from her. As a high school kid, I was like, oh, she think he about to go to the NFL. And
And
she
that's
going
what I
to.
said. That's
Get
what
rid
I
of her.
said.
Out of there, out of there. And Karlissa fanned it off. And so when she got pregnant, I was like, I'm not surprised. She thought John was going pro. She want to go with him. I get it. But I was telling Karlissa, there's something wrong with a girl upstairs. If she's 16 and she not popping it, like, I'm about to get my driver's license, I'm about to give me a little job so I can have some money for my hair, my nails, my clothes, my shoes. I said, 16-year-olds should be thinking ahead, like how they're just cute and they're just sugar, honey, and iced tea, and they about to go to college and they about to be on campus and they just about to be so fly. I said, she's not seeing past this. Something's wrong with her upstairs. You got to get her out of here. And she didn't. And so I know that Jaden does not have any individuality. She does not think for herself. She's not a person. She's a robot.
Wow, I've been
So I
told that
tell
by
you,
several
when
people
she,
on the inside. I've been told that by a lot of people that actually know her and are close to her. So I do believe it. Karlissa also told her she couldn't count money. we seen her not be able to count money one time. So, I mean, I
Well,
hear
y'all, I'm
you.
confused.
I'm
I'm
not even
confused
being
because
funny, y'all, for real, because
Not
I
even
know it
being
sounds
funny,
but
and
funny.
look,
it was labeled like girl. It says it on the money. It's a band that
It
tells you
did.
what it is.
no, y'all, for real though, because I'm confused because Karlissa came out here and said that she was the master
exactly.
manipulator and that she was the one that's pulling the strings with John and that they like she was the one that was the real narcissist. And so ain't none of that true. She ain't
She did
manipulating
say
shit.
that.
You feel me? Like I'm confused on that note. She's not a manipulator, Octavia?
That is a form of manipulation, trying to get pregnant by somebody because you think that they're going to
Right.
be successful,
Yeah.
She
but it's
Mm-hmm.
playing
That
not.
is
slow.
It's not on a
manipulation.
mastermind level.
Right, but it's manipulation.
Yeah, she can
It's
manipulate with the whole playing slow shit, right?
Yep.
I'll do
Yeah.
whatever you say if you don't do this, right? Like I know you're, using me. That it's exactly what it is we saw. She knew Blueface was using her to get back at Krishan as long as it was to hurt Krishan. That's manipulating. She manipulated the whole thing. That whole thing where her and Blueface and the marriage and all of that, it was never to be for real. It was on, she was all in on it. It was all lights, camera, action. Karlissa told us you gotta take some of the things she say at face value. These two been together for a long time, and they robbed the liquor store together, remember? So they'll do anything together. And Jaden been in on this all along. As long as she gets
Agree.
something out of it.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, as long as she's
And yeah,
getting something out of it, but that doesn't make her smart because it's not skillful. It's very
Right.
basic level.
You're playing yourself in the same time. She
Yes.
she she thinks she's winning, but she's really, you're digging yourself a deeper. You're trying to bear. She basically helped Blueface build this grave that he wanted to knock Krishan in, but the whole time he was building two. He was building two. She thought she was helping him build one, but all along they were both building.
Right.
They were building two for he was building two for to lay them both in, and he just didn't know. Like so. I don't know, but this
No,
is good.
I get what you're saying. It's just all of Jaden's plans have backfired on her because she doesn't have the ability to think ahead.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yo, she was.
Well, she
Like
get
her
her.
mama. I
She get.
totally agree.
Yeah, she
I
gets her
totally
plans from
agree.
Karlissa.
yep,
That's why
yep.
Like her
she
mama
gets her
law.
plans from Karlissa.
And there's times Krishan try to extend grace to her with her being the person she is and have said the things that she have said about her child. She has extended grace and said things like, okay, I'm not understanding why you still trying to beef over someone who's not no longer yours, who is now my husband. We should be working at a level to get our kids together. A person who feels strongly about what was done or said wouldn't say that. But Krishan has a heart and she has a mind to know, okay, I see what type of female she is. I'm going to give her a little bit of grace. And she still continues to be evil and parade around here and do little things. So that's why people don't give her grace, Octavia, because
Right.
they see Krishan trying to give her grace and she's still acting like she's the biggest, the baddest, the toughest, the roughest, when we clearly could see she's not. We know she don't have a mind of her own. It's evident.
Yeah, Krishan, I see that too. I think she be trying to like, hey, snap out of it kind of thing with her. Hey, girl, come on.
But
Yeah, go, Jaden.
but you
Come
have
on.
to see John likes feisty girls, whether y'all like it or not. John likes feisty girls. And so that's the facade that Jaden, well, I'm going to talk like this because that's what he likes. But she doesn't see how it's coming off again because she doesn't have the ability to think.
Mm-hmm. And she's been trying to, you can tell she's trying to get even more in herself and a little bit more feisty. It's like she's trying to mimic Krishan. Everything she does is like, let me mimic Krishan a little bit because that's what John likes. That's what we've already said. Like we see everything you said makes so much sense now. Like it just helps us make more sense. And I know it seems like she's getting picked on, but she's really not. It's her own self because, like you said, she's she's not really all up there, but she has enough common sense to know what she's doing at the same time. So it's like you can't sit up here and be like, oh, I'm slow, but I'm still, pick and play games and do what he said, even though I know this is manipulative and evil, when really you would be better, you would get more support being the single mom that you are, moving on, maybe getting a new man, new woman, whatever you're going to do, and focusing on the positive things, the positive side of things, getting the kids together, doing pictures with the kids or something. You're, instead of doing that, and Blue has, if she listens to him so much, why aren't you listening to him when he's trying to bring the kids together? Because he tried that multiple times. But why is she so evil? Why don't she ever, that was my question to you, why doesn't she ever call him out? Why is she never mad at him for all the things that she's blaming Krishan or whoever for? I know you can't really answer it directly for her, but it maybe, do you know anything that could possibly help us understand why she's not saying anything to him?
I think it's the same thing when it comes to Karlissa not directly blaming who should be blamed when it comes to blaming her kids for the way they act or for their behavior. It's always Krishan's fault. It's never John's fault. It's always Katie's fault. It's never Andre's fault. And
Mm.
so Jaden should blame John, but it's hard to blame your provider. Like, you can't be honest with your parents, brutally honest with your parents, while
Because
you're
they'll
under their
get
roof.
you. Right. I get exactly what you're saying. Yep. So she can't,
It
if she
takes
calls
you.
him out, she knows she might get a real cutting off. Like, she knows how far
Oh
to
yeah.
go. But at this point, it seems as to me, because he's not talking to her, and maybe you can give us some type of insight on that, right? But it seems like because of the things she has been saying and doing since he's been locked up, that she's been cut off, and she knows it, and she's kind of gone rogue on taking his advice fully or listening to him.
I think before he went to jail, like he was starting to catch on. I think he was doing an interview with Jason Lee, and he was like, "What do I think?" He was like, "I think," and he was saying that he used to like Jaden for Jaden, but he's really not sure who she is again because she takes on whoever's personality she's around.